know what happened. It's
I
that
have
my
no idea.
phone.
You keep going in and out. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You're low.
Can you hear me now?
No.
All right, so I have to hang up.
Okay, I hear you. I got you. I hear you.
I don't know what happened. Instagram just decided to
Pick two.
just cancel my
Yeah.
live.
That's okay. That's all right. We're not
I
gonna stop what
honestly feel
what
like
we're trying to do.
we're probably giving some really good stuff.
We are.
And I think that what we need to do, just run through it quick. We saw some new people who literally just got back on. Hey
Yeah.
guys, we're already live, and I hope you screenshotting yours. I mean, screen recording yours because I couldn't do mine. Are
Oh
you?
Lord.
Yeah, you may have to screen. So we were live and we were talking some really good, tasty stuff for pet parents. And out of nowhere, it said my phone was too hot. So I had to cancel Facebook because I want to be here with you guys. So if you want to run through some of the stuff you were saying again, because I think it was really good. I think some of the
Yeah.
people who got back will love it.
Okay, so really quickly, starting from the top, one thing that you want to make sure that you want to make sure your pet has proper, up-to-date ID tags. Have
Okay.
your dog or cat wearing their collar at all times, with your your pet's name, phone number, and address on there if you feel comfortable putting your address. So make sure you have ID tags. Second thing, you want to make sure you have at least 2 weeks extra supply of pet food. If you can't do the whole month, that's fine. But what you outside of what you would normally buy, you want to make sure that you can give your dog or cat enough food that'll at least cover 2 weeks, because you don't want your animal to go hungry. And I also say don't forget the treats. So they want their treats.
Okay. You
Number
talked about, no, what's number
yeah.
three?
Number three is medication refills.
Okay.
Yeah, and these aren't in any particular order. I'm just throwing them out there.
Mm.
Just make sure you at least have these essentials. In no particular order am I saying these, but you want to make sure that you have medication refills for your animals. Don't be stuck without life-saving day-to-day medication. So if your dog has heart medications, seizure medications, anything, you want to make sure that you have enough of refills. That'll, an extra bottle or so, you at least want to have that at all times. And a thing that I think we're about to jump into is the first aid kits.
Okay.
I think
But
that's
but
where
but
we
but when you
stopped.
talked about medication, remember I wanted to let people know that they should have a typed up medication directory,
Yeah, yeah,
just so that if something happens and they need to leave their pet with a friend or a provider, a pet
yeah,
care provider, that they have the actual information
yeah,
and also where they can get medication.
yeah,
And you talked about the generic version too, that
yeah,
they should they should have generic version just in case if they can't
yeah.
go to the pharmacy, but at the same time they can get the
Right.
generic version.
Understanding what
Yeah.
generic versions work.
Okay.
And understanding the dosage. So
The
people with
dosage.
very large dogs or very, very small dogs, at least contact your vet and talk to, it's a good discussion to have with your doctor about, okay, if there's an emergency, what should I do?
Mm,
And have that information legible. You don't want to be trying to figure out what did I write through something, and
okay.
keep that with your important files and documents.
Okay, got it, got it. So what's in the first aid kit that every pet parent should have?
Now, first aid kits kind of get tricky. This
Okay.
is what I like to do. If you go to any drugstore or if you even create a DIY kit, all the kits have what's necessary. They have things that'll kind of carry you through, even if it's a small scrape or bruise. You want to make sure you have gauze. You want to make sure you have gauze pads. You want to make sure that you have alcohol, peroxide. But usually those things are in there. Honestly, I personally believe that any first aid kit that you would buy for yourself, you can apply that to your animal. It's just understanding how to use it. And I think we can do another segment on how can we, how to use those things inside of the first aid kit. But I think just a general first aid kit, anything you buy from the store would work just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I really think that if we can go in depth, do some type of webinar where we can
Yeah.
kind of break down some of this stuff that pet parents can do.
Yeah.
because because of the whole stay at home and be safe. If
Yeah.
something happens, if your dog eats chocolate or something,
Yeah.
there's stuff that you could potentially do while you wait to find
Yeah.
a way to go to the vet.
Yeah, I think what we could do is probably do another segment on just things like activated charcoal. That's
mm,
really good that you can give to your pet. Like if they get into some type of toxin, you can give your pet activated charcoal to kind of help pull some of that stuff out. But that in itself, I think that's just so much meat that we will probably have to do an entire separate section
no
on,
worries. Yeah.
yeah,
Our goal is just to continue just talking to our clients, letting them know we're here
yeah.
for them during this difficult time.
We're
So
here for you guys. If you have any
definitely.
questions, start commenting. If you want to know anything, we're here to help.
Okay. So in your preparing for emergency, what else do you recommend?
I also recommend going back to the vet. Make sure you have vaccination records, up to
Mm,
date records. You don't want to be fumbling around because if you want to make sure that you have records of your dog's rabies, bordetella, all those record of. Okay, there you go. I see you now. You froze out for a second. Oh, there you go. I lost you. I can't hear you. Using. I can't hear you. I can't. Nope. 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 Uh-uh. You're gonna sit back and watch this and be like, wow, yeah, I can't hear you. Are you using a microphone?
no, I'm using iPhone.
Okay, I hear you now.
All right, so I was trying to screen record it.
Oh,
So I can't screen record it because we started in the beginning. I was able to screen record it, but it won't let me do it no more. And I was
it's
hoping you
okay.
didn't.
It's all right. It's okay, everybody. It's our first time. We're just trying to bring you guys something new
Okay.
and fresh. Okay, so
You
we're gonna
know,
get
we
it together. We're
what
gonna we're
no
gonna work it out.
definitely.
We're gonna get it together.
What we can probably do is do a video and then I'll
Yeah.
edit it together to share it.
There we go.
That makes sense. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
There are two last things.
Okay.
One, you want to make sure that your pet has some type of calming aid.
Mm,
CBD is all the rave right now. Even if you have to have something that's prescribed from your vet,
okay.
that or essential oils, lavender oil is very calming and soothing. Understanding what it would take to calm your pet down. So, if there's an emergency or for any panic or any reason, if it's stressful, you want to be able to give your pet something that'll kind of take the edge off. So, I think that's something that's missed sometimes because we have animals that are high anxiety and they stress out very quickly. So, if it's something where you need to move quickly, you want to be able to administer and give your animal something that is going to take the edge off and kind of calm them down a little bit.
Okay.
So
So is there
that's
any in the market that you recommend or it really depends on the dosage and you just gotta try
honestly,
it?
I love treatables. I'm
Okay.
a huge fan of treatables. You guys can go, I believe it's treatables.com. And we also have access to it. So if anybody needs, any of my clients need it, you can contact me. But treatables is great. It's CBD, and it's all natural. It actually starts working within 10 minutes. It's a very, very totally safe, all natural product that you can give your animal that will literally calm them down within 10 minutes. It'll take a lot of the edge off, and the dosage is completely up to you. If you have a large dog, you have to kind of play with the dosage to make sure that you're giving your dog the adequate amount so that the product actually works. Um, but does that answer your question?
I tried Pet Relief
There we go.
and I'm a fan of Pet Relief to a certain extent. I've tried it on dog grooming, obviously with the
Mhm.
client permission. It does take about an hour for it to really do that, but I haven't tried Treatable yet. So definitely, if you feel like that's a good thing that people can use
Yeah.
to calm their dog down, it
Yeah,
makes
I love it, and
a
it's
lot of
good for
sense
it's
to
good for
try
dogs,
different things.
cats, horses. They even have it for bears. It's
Really?
it's you can do the it's a treat, or you can do the oil. So you can you have either one. You can apply the oil through the mouth, or you can apply it through onto the skin, where there's the
Mm,
open area. So they have variations of how you can give it to your pet. So it's not just for dogs. I don't want to forget about the cats. I don't want to forget about, all the other animals that we have and that we know and that we love, because they're all included in this conversation. So I definitely, like I said, having those, really understanding what works best for your animal. Understand
that's
that if your dog will not take a treat, don't argue and fuss and stress because your dog won't take a treat. If it's, find out what works best and then apply that.
okay. That makes sense. Okay, so what's the last thing you recommend to be in an
My
emergency
very
kit?
last thing, and I know it's a big debacle about it, but having the proper crate or carrier for your animal.
I'm
That
actually a
part,
fan of that.
I'm a big fan of that. You
I'm
know what? It
I'm
will
a fan
save
of
your life.
in an emergency and
Yeah.
like with a New Yorker, and it sometimes it's better to have something, especially for a dog that may have issues with pain, or
Hmm.
have reaction problems, or
Right.
not comfortable with certain individuals. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have
Yeah.
dogs who just like, they may not like a male figure. They, like, you want to be
Yeah.
able to be safe if you're running to the vet, if you got to jump in
Right.
an Uber, or you got to
Right.
jump in a train, or something, because you have to look at your environment and protect it. So I think that
Right.
having some type of carry on is
Right.
also a good thing.
Right.
Um,
But
it's
let me say this.
challenging sometimes, but
Let me say
yeah.
this, because this is a big scenario. A lot of people don't like their pets being in crates because they feel like, oh, it's inhumane. My dog is in a cage. No. A lot of times, if there's an emergency and you have to leave your home, if, like, say, for, I'm going to apply hurricanes, right? Because I'm in Florida, so we deal with a lot of hurricanes. If there's a situation where you have to evacuate, you don't want to be with a dog that's panicking and jerking and trying to flee. You don't want to be, I mean, because the situations are already scary enough. So
Hmm.
you at least want to have the proper crate or carrier, so that way your animal is transported the right way. Not even my own dog. She does not like riding in the car. So can you imagine having to be in a situation to where now you have to get in the car, or you have to go somewhere and your animal is fighting you and stressing out? That's where the calming aid comes in, and that's where having all that other stuff, everything will start to fall into play. What we're going through right now, with everybody being home, having your pet in a crate, or having a crate or carrier on hand, it prevents your dog from, or your cats from, getting into things that they don't need to be in. Poisons, running out of the front door if you have family coming up. There's so many reasons why it's necessary just to have one, even if you don't use it. I always say better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So make sure that with your dog or your cat, that it's sizable, that they can fit in there comfortably. You don't want to have something that's too small. That they can walk in comfortably, stand up, and at least do one complete turn without being crouched, or, you want to make sure that your dog is going to be comfortable in there. Even if they argue with you about it, let them bark, let them cry, but it's for their protection. And I think that once we understand that it's for their safety, it's for their protection, that we can better utilize those tools when we need them.
You know what? Why you say that is that because of all the changes, a lot of dogs' patterns has changed. The way of doing things is no more. They see their
Yeah.
pet parent at home. Some are
Yeah.
taking advantage of the whole situation.
Yeah.
What are your recommendations in terms of pet parents who have their dog with them while they work from home? Should they stick to the same old routine, or should they create new routine? What
Yeah.
what what do you think that they should be doing just to continue training their dog?
Well, you want to create a new normal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as for as long as God knows we're going to be home, and this is going to be something new that everybody has to adjust to. So your dog has to adjust to a new schedule. So a lot of times, so if you get up at 5 a.m., normally get up at 5 a.m., you feed your dog, You go to work. Now your dog's home all day. I mean, if you want to sleep in, you change. It's okay to make those changes. There are fun things that you can do at home with your pet. I mean, you can still take them outside. There are still a lot of things you can do outdoors. You don't have to stay cooped up. I say this is a great opportunity to show your dog or teach your dog a new trick. You know, if your dog is having issues with jumping, this is the time to start to, you know, really kind of work on those things. If it's barking, if it's you want to teach your dog how to give a high five, it's a great time to do it. There are so many recipes you can try. If you want to bake your dog something new, if you want to even try experimenting with cooking for your dog, because that's a very healthy option, and then that's something that can bring you and your pet a little bit closer together. So there are plenty of things that you can do. I think there's just something, I think there's a new normal that everybody has to kind of adjust to. And within that, I think that there is opportunity to grow and do something that's fun and different with your pet.
So since we're not listed in essential business except certain categories. So
Hmm.
what about hygiene and properly maintaining your dog
Oh,
fur
yeah.
and grooming?
Grooming, I
How
mean,
does that protect
yeah,
the individuals and their pets? And how do you keep a proper? I have a friend of mine. Every day now, he's mopping, he's clean. He's already been doing it, but he's overdoing it,
yeah.
just to make sure that every surface is basically is clean and potentially sanitized for the coronavirus.
Right. Well,
So
as far, yeah.
how do we bring that into the dog?
I mean,
Especially
I
if I say
think
you still
that,
have to take them out to walks and all that, the
yeah,
leashes, all that.
I think that as far as your pet is concerned, um, there are a lot of things that we can do to make sure that everybody stays healthy. You know, you don't want to have a dog with a lot of hair or fur on on their legs, bringing in a whole bunch of debris and a whole bunch of outside inside. You don't want
Okay.
them, right?
Mm.
So I think just proper combing, brushing, take a wet wipe, take a baby wipe, and just keep your, you know, you can give your dog a quick wipe off. Your dog doesn't need a bath every time they come in from the outside. There are plenty of things that you can do. I'm a big advocate on regularly washing your dog's leashes and collars. You
Okay.
know, you have to wash those on a regular basis. I frequently tell my customers, especially when they come in to get groomed, I give them back their leashes and collars and say, hey, if you want to take it home and wash it. So then that